MMO. Massive. Multiplayer. Online. This is the genre that I have wasted a majority of my life in. I've grown up and changed, but I've played MMOs this whole time, and they've changed too. But in what way? Well, the massive worlds have been cut down into shards, finding dungeons has gone from engaging to disengaging, the game went from going on an adventure to running on a treadmill, raiding has gone from boring to fun to batshit insane hard, everything is about cosmetics.
Oh my god!
People don't care who you are, the servers lag like balls, everything is about the story, my friends all got jobs, you're replacing purple gear with purple gear with purple gear within minutes of getting it, there might as well be only one armor quality, leveling has changed from fun to barely even a footnote, my parents got divorced, and my hair is starting to fall out! It's 2006. I'm in Westfall. I'm completing quests. I just got a green sword. I'm having fun. I just walked over to Eureka. I dodged a wizard's earth blast. And now I'm blacksmithing some bronze daggers. Having fun. These actions, they're so much more simple, so much more old-fashioned, but they entertain me for hours, days, weeks, years when I was younger. Was I just a stupid kid? Well, yes. But why was this so fun? I'm just hitting rocks. I'm just hitting birds. But it's so much simpler. No Mythic Plus, no gear grind. I still have a solid hairline. But my parents are still divorced. This video is brought to you in part by the best mobile experience on the market, with champions, elite bosses, and epic loot. With over 400 active users right now, that's right folks, this video is sponsored by my subscribe button. Final Fantasy XIV is a theme park MMO. 1,000,000%. It has a story-based leveling system with queuable dungeons required for the story to continue, which you need to do to unlock new zones and unlock more queuable dungeons or LFR bosses, which then push the story forward and then start the cycle all over again. It holds your hand the entire time, and when you get to the end game, there are cookie-cutter raid difficulties with clear BIS and a bunch of side activities to do depending on how you want to spend your free time. This game is very much the polar opposite of Sandbox. This isn't a bad thing, but it is definitely a modern thing. However, Final Fantasy XIV's side activities include things like rep grinding, treasure maps, and other mini activities to kill time. But it also has Eureka, which is basically an MMO inside of this MMO. And not only that, but it is a pure Sandbox MMO, the polar opposite to the regular game. Here's how it works. You kill shit. I'm not even kidding. You kill shit for experience points. And you just grind from level 1 to level 60. You're in new unique zones, have new separate experience bar, and just kill shit and grind experience. It's crazy because you're not only just grinding boars or some shit, you also spawn world bosses, which give big chunks of experience points. But these world bosses are deep in the zone, so you need to trek out into danger, and if you die and don't get rezzed, you lose a shit ton of experience points. So, it turns into a huge risk versus reward kind of thing, and it also promotes working together, so you're at less risk of dying and losing experience. It really gives you a sense of danger, a lot like Dark Souls. There are obviously more features. For example, every enemy in Eureka has an element, kind of like Pokemon, and you can swap what element you're attuned to make fighting certain mobs easier. There's also a story, but it only has like 5 quests per zone, and there's only 4 zones. It swaps from hand-holding, story-driven, queuable dungeon leveling to grinding mobs and risking it all for some fatty XP. Also, there is no quest tracker for the 5 quests that you do have. It literally tells you when you accept them in a little text box at the bottom of your screen, you need to talk to players to find out what to do. Or, you can just Google it. But why do this? I mean, it's a separate MMO altogether. Surely it doesn't give you gear upgrades or anything, right? Well, yeah, you are right. It doesn't give upgrades that affect your character, but it gives upgrades that affect your character in Eureka. Also, it does give some really swag transmog. For example, my main character is Summoner. Think of it like Warlock, but less Demon Edgelord and more Dragon Edgelord. And the Summoner weapon is Book. I wield Book. And like, they are Book. They look like Book. And it sucks ass. But here's the Eureka books, and they got like glowing backs and dragon wings and like transmutation symbols. It's really, really good in comparison to the modern Best in Slot book. So yeah, you can't really get upgrades from here, but it has its own separate gearing system, also mounts and transmog, and maybe even an expensive ass item or two you can sell in the auction house. So, depending on who you are, it's a ton of fun and definitely worth the time for the swag, experience, and money. Now, I did say there were multiple zones of Eureka and a max level. So what lies at the end of it all? Funnily enough, at the end of this old school MMO leveling experience is an old school MMO raid. So real quick, the hardest raids in Final Fantasy that are basically the equivalent of mythic raids in WoW are 8-man. The LFR equivalent raids are 24-man. Well, at the end of Eureka is the only raid in the entire game that is 56-man. It is easy in comparison mechanically. Kind of like how Naxxramas and Ahn'Qiraj have easier mechanics compared to Battle for Azeroth, but they are way, way more punishing. This raid, the Baldesian Arsenal, can't be spammed either, because if you die in here and you don't get a special res, you get kicked out of the instance. Not only that, the only way to enter the raid is to wait for a specific world boss to spawn, which after defeating it, spawns 48 portals around the zone's whole map. So you can't enter the raid whenever you want to. Also, the only way to get a group for this is to join a specific Discord depending on your server, and queuing up for a special time slot. But wait, 48 portals? I thought you said this was 56-man. Well, it is, but not until you get to the second to last boss. When you get there, another world boss spawns that an 8-man support group has to kill to get teleported in. And once you beat the final boss, you get a mount, showing off you went through all the grinding, all 60 of these other levels, all 4 of these new zones, the entire new story. You did all the Discord queuing stuff, you got a new raid group together, you did the brand new 56 raid, completely different to anything else, and you did it all without dying and beat the last boss, flexing your big dick. From leveling to raiding to the prestige of items, this whole Eureka thing is basically just a microscopic slice of a classic MMO. It's got similar leveling, raiding. What about PvP?
What the hell is this?